According to Robert Bafakurera, the head of the Rwanda Private Sector Federation, from Monday, new regulations have been implemented for the Rwanda Revenue Authority to allow drivers to transport goods to the border instead of continuing to other countries.
Byasanzwe nuko ibyiza rero abashoferi bavuye mu bindi bihugu bagarukira ku mupaka.
The good thing is that the drivers from other countries stop at the borders, then the drivers from Rwanda bring them to Kigali or elsewhere across the country. This gives an assurance that preventing the spread of the virus among the drivers is being observed. And you know, the cars that bring the essential goods weren't stopped in the entire East African community, but the measures that were put in place were to see that we avoid the further spread of the virus. This, however, does not remove the usual measures of hygiene and avoiding unnecessary cross-border travel in order to prevent contamination in the event that these drivers are monitoring the crossing of their goods, whether to unload or exchange their vehicles with other fellow drivers across the border. All drivers are required to have hand sanitizers to always clean their hands. But the most important thing is to avoid wandering around aimlessly. As we wait for our documents to be approved for us to go unload our goods, you find a driver has walked away to go do other things. But that all has been scrapped off. That's why we gave these measures that no driver should walk around aimlessly. With concerns that the number of truck drivers in Rwanda might not be enough, the management of the Association of Truck Owners in Rwanda has noted that more have been recruited and they too have a responsibility of protecting themselves. We got 150 drivers in the association that will help us go to the border and get these cars, such that those that bring them stop at the border. The first thing will be for them to disinfect the cars, such that when the driver from this side finds it clean from the one that brought it, and vice versa, to avoid the spread of the virus. The decision to exchange goods across the border comes after some drivers were screened and found infected with the coronavirus, as a statement from the Ministry of Health on the 24th of April on COVID-19 infections showed that out of the 22 people found to be infected that day, the highest figure of the infections in a single day since the pandemic was first identified within Rwanda's borders. A number of cross-border truck drivers were also included. Reporting for RTV, Gloria Mutesi.